This is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. Gentlemen, this is episode number 29. Ooh. And here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. This week, right off the top, let's talk about what's in the news and get your take on it. Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett are going to be playing football stadiums. What do you think about that? Let's go with you, Jim.
Number one, I don't go see anybody in a football stadium. I don't care who it is. No interest in going to the Rose Bowl and sitting 1,000 miles away.
Well, this is going to be at the new Rams Stadium, Jim. I'm sure you're going to have some input on that. Probably fresh off the smoke alarms.
Yeah, I didn't do the Rams Stadium.
I
did the Coliseum.
Very good.
I did the current stadium.
Yeah, not enough smoke there, Frank.
No.
To get our Jim over there.
Well, I love Joan Jett. She would be the one I would want to go see. I don't know if I've said this before on the show, but closest thing to a religious experience I've ever had at a concert was Joan Jett at the Roxy.
Very nice. Yeah. I can imagine.
When people talk about it was like a religious experience, I used to just be like, what are you talking about? It's a rock and show, blah, blah, blah. I was probably 3 feet away from her, 4 feet away from her, close enough for her to sweat on me kind of thing.
Oh, that's religion right there. But
it was transcendent. It was like outside experience before.
Now, I just
partly at the country club in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen them since. Don't care to see them since. Fast for Love was the best album.
Yeah, they peaked with that album for me.
There it was.
I got a message on my phone that tickets were going to be going on sale for the Los Angeles venue. The section 500 nosebleed section, we're going for $128.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now,
nope.
I've seen all those bands.
Wait, who else was there? Def Leppard. Who was the other one?
Def Leppard and
Poison.
Okay, I saw Poison open up for Rat on their first album. They were all right. Just whatever.
I saw, as a matter of fact, Rat, L.A. Guns, Poison, and Journey. And and then not long ago we saw Poison open up for Def Leppard. And Tesla was actually the opening band. Best band by far.
Stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, Motley Crue, seen them a couple times and never been impressed with their show or their music playing of any kind. And like I say, Joan Jett, I saw her at the Grove in Anaheim, one of the best intimate shows I've ever seen.
And when was that, Frank? Was that later on? Or is that back in the day?
Yeah, that's when the Sinner album came out. So What is that, 2000, somewhere around there maybe? I'm not real sure, but that's when I've sent you the picture of the autographs of Sandy West and
right.
Sherry Curry. So
that's where I got Sandy's autograph. I saw Joan at the Roxy.
Yeah, but I can't see spending that kind of money for.
Guys, is it really gonna sell? I mean, to me, I was a big Def Leppard head until the riff man passed away. Steve Clark passed away. He's the riff guy. And I think I've got 2 albums after he passed. And God bless Adrian Campbell. Well, whatever.
Vivian.
But to me, Vivian.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Thank you, Frank. Adrian is okay. But it's just without the riffs, I guess they're still touring and still selling out, but to me, and then Poison, is CC DeVille still in Poison? I saw Bobby Doll was still there. I saw okay, because they showed the pictures of all the bands in it. I don't think Joan Jett was in it. It showed all the others.
Yeah, she wasn't in the group picture.
Okay, I couldn't see CC. I couldn't see CC DeVille, but if he's in it, I'm in because to me, Poison's like my mini Kiss. It's got great song, couple 3-4 minutes, nicely guitar solo.
Yeah,
simple stuff. But
I'll say this: worst live guitar solo section I've ever seen in my life was CC DeVille.
Oh, the VMA
was on that when they were opening for Rat, and I was like, "Wow, talk about a snooze fest!" It was just
Let me tell you something, guys.
Yeah, he did some bad stuff on some award show. He's all coked out.
When they initially put out their live album, it's a double live album, and CC had a 14-minute solo that was so bad they went back
14 minutes.
Yeah, it's the whole side of the album. They went back and recut the album and cut his solo out. It was just that bad. So,
my gosh!
And you can catch it on YouTube. It's terrible. But see, he was drugged out that time.
He was gone. He was done. Yeah.
Yeah, that was towards the end of kind of the end of their run, right?
Well,
they released that live album. I don't know that it ever did anything.
No, Richie Kotzen came in and played.
Thank you, Frank. I thought he got replaced. Thank you, Frank. Beautiful.
And their whole sound changed when Richie came in. He's a whole different beast. And then they booted him. I guess he's hard to get along with. Then brought in CC again. But CC did a couple side projects that were pretty good.
But I think that album with Richie was actually not a bad album.
No, not at all.
I don't think I own it, but I remember hearing it and think like, wow, there's like some really good.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely the guitar playing was off the hook, right? So,
as far as Def Leppard, I don't, who am I to bag on anybody? But Vivian Campbell does absolutely nothing for me. I don't know.
Thank you.
I liked him in Dio.
Yeah, no, he's got chops, guys. But to me, Steve Clark was the riff dude.
Yeah.
And for whatever he contributed was something to do with the sound that it isn't there now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think I have X or whatever the couple albums after he left, and it's just it's
very boring to me. Very boring.
It's
Well, I lost interest in Def Leppard after Pyromania, and when Pyromania came out, I could kind of already see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
What about Hysteria? You like Hysteria?
It is so sterile and so there's no real excitement on that album.
I could play it through every day of the week for the rest of my life.
I peaked it high and dry, guys. So
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Half of Pyromania I really
I'm
like.
the slowest.
Yeah, it just they lost the edge after that, and they got overproduced and put on 8,000 layers of guitars, and no thanks. So.
The problem with Hysteria was they spent like 3 years or some ridiculous.
Well, it was for a change, but when your drummer loses his arm,
no excuse. No excuse.
You got that's our prank.
No excuse.
We have deadlines. That's way too much time in the studio.
It is, but Jim, for them to hang and say, that's our mate, we know you lost your arm, but we're going to hang with you. To me,
no, I give them props for that.
Yeah, whenever I hear Hysteria, I think, man, that's a brotherhood right there. Those cats are cool. I mean, they hung around but yeah, that's a long time between albums. It sure is.
And realistically, that's when the synthetic drums came in because of the situation. Yeah. And the whole sound became phony. It just became non-rock and roll.
Well, computer.
Yeah.
Computer. No. It's not. Yeah. It's not.
Look, those guys are laughing all the way to the bank.
Oh, by far.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still, and apparently they're gonna laugh again coming up this year, right?
Well, I read something where Joe Elliott was saying, "Hey, there's no even guarantee Motley Crue is going to make it through the whole tour." They're
aren't they all cleaned up?
Well, they're all cleaned up, but they
all hate each other.
They can't stand each other. This is a business move only. I was just telling Cindy today, the reason this is happening, Nikki Sixx is in his 60s. His wife just had a baby. He doesn't want to change diapers. He's hitting the road.
Gotcha.
You know? Hey, he needs a break.
And then diapers cost money.
Well, he's going to have to buy them for himself and his kid before too long. So
yep. Their Netflix movie was a huge hit. I think it was a huge hit with a lot of kids.
The younger set.
It.
Yeah.
The younger set. So I think this is their shot.
Yeah.
Right? To go out and capitalize on what
another audience. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Start doing some reissues. Greatest hits, volume 10.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So they're kind of going to see the legend of what Motley Crue is. They're not really going to see Motley Crue.
Right.
Guys, who's headlining? Leopard or Crue?
It's co-headlining. They're going to switch off. Motley gets to play the LA headline, and then from there on, what I've read is Def Leppard gets to pick the rest.
It's their hometown, right?
Yeah,
right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll see. I guess we're not going to be spending $128 to go see it. So.
No.
Did have a mail call, guys. I forgot about
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to open this up because I want to show you the. Speaking of what we were speaking of, but get a load of this color vinyl here.
Nice. Oh,
green marble.
Oh.
Yeah. The album is.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I had that on cassette, guys, and rocked the H out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It's
good job, Frank.
I will say this.
Yeah, that's the only one I had.
Yeah.
Rock is a freaking genius.
Yeah. He can make some sounds, County. Yeah.
Genius. Musical genius.
Yes.
Great songwriter, too.
Good songwriter. Excellent drummer. He's just a musician all the way around. And along with that mail call, I want to go. Let me ask you, Jim, what would be a guilty pleasure band that we haven't talked about before that is yours?
That's my guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. My guilty pleasure doesn't run in the rock and roll
right
world. So I'm a little perplexed. I'm intrigued.
Okay. Jerry, what about you? If you could pick a band that might surprise us or a musical act that might surprise us a little bit.
I have it easy, and I can listen to that album all the way through a million times. The Kings.
Okay.
Oh,
Switching to Glide, This Beat Goes On, that debut album.
I don't think you have to be guilty about that.
No, but that's
I think the Kings are great.
I've never talked to you guys about.
Mm-hmm.
I've never mentioned on a show, hey, I was just listening to this today. I've never done it.
See,
and to me, that's my little The Kings.
I'm surprised because I thought you were going to say Bobby Goldsboro, but that's okay.
Well, he could do that. Remember, he's on the Merv Griffin show. He could do that good cricket sound.
The cricket sound, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to share with you. I went through my record collection and I found this and I gave it a spin today.
Oh, Ben.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I bought this because of the movie and played it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have the
gosh,
jacket.
Frank.
Is that from back in the day, or is that a
This
repress?
is originally this is my original album, Motown.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Frank. And that record looks clean.
Yeah. Of course, Ben, Greatest Show on Earth. People Make the World Go Round. We've Got a Good Thing Going. Everybody's Somebody's Fool. My Girl. What Goes Around Comes Around in Our Small Way. Shooby Dooby Day. And You Can Cry on My Shoulder. And I think I could only remember Ben because I played
That's all I can remember.
Hit song.
Absolutely.
Huge.
Oh,
Huge.
that was huge.
This is
The movie
before
was
plastic
huge.
surgery and all the other crazy
Yep.
stuff we heard about him.
He had a nose back then. There was a nose on his face.
He was a
Yeah.
good-looking
Is there
kid. He was a good-looking kid, yeah.
It was
Yeah, he
good
was.
looking.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Interesting.
And the movie Ben, of course.
That's almost
With
like
Willard.
what's in Frank's fridge there.
almost. Yeah. It was in my milk crate. Yeah.
The old Foothill Dairy milk crate, folks.
I've got 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Perfect device
Yeah.
for holding an album.
Yep.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
you people don't know. Yeah, well, you probably do out.
They are?
Yeah,
The other
they're
thing
perfect.
forgot to talk about is a little somber note. It was the anniversary of the murder of John Lennon.
Yeah.
Jerry and I believe we were working at Glendora Dairy The night that Coward Cosell came on the Monday Night Football.
I was driving in, Frank.
Yes, yeah. And,
I was driving in the Mighty 72 Monte Carlo when I heard it. I was right there by the golf course on Glendora Avenue. Excuse me, sorry.
And that was a life changer, because it was so senseless of why, anybody would want to take a Beatles life. We just couldn't comprehend that.
Well, it was so innocent back then too. I mean, I think up until then, the worst thing that had ever happened was probably the Iranian hostage thing. That wasn't really, but then I remember driving at Frank. That's funny. I remember driving in and hearing that and just, unbelievable.
Yeah. And a guy who's saying, all we were saying is give peace a chance, right?
No more war, peace. Yeah.
Yep. Unbelievable.
Yep.
So what was that? 34 years? Is that what it was? 34 years ago?
Oh, that's 1980. Yeah.
And I think it changed the way people dealt with
39
after that, right?
Yeah.
Because anybody who was famous, and he already signed autographs for that guy earlier in the day.
It was a couple hours before. There's a picture. He's signing Double Fantasy for Mark that idiot that shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 3-4 hours before. So, they'd camp out at the Dakota and him and Yoko would get out of the limo, go through the doors, sign some autographs, and then, it's...
You don't expect that to happen.
The Innocent Boys, for me, that was the end of the Innocents by far. What are we, 17 when it happened?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Now,
sad.
I remember Dennis Leary talking about it. Of course, it's classless now, but when he said, 5 shots, and not one hit Yoko. What the heck,
Jeez. That's bad.
It's terrible.
That's bad. I remember somebody.
That's why I love Frank. Stuff like that.
I remember reading an article where a guy talked about meeting Bob Dylan.
Uh-huh.
And Bob Dylan was standing on the corner of the street, and he walked up and was trying to talk to him, and it was not that long after John Lennon had been shot, and Bob Dylan was a little freaked out by him, and I'm sure he was in the back of his mind. He's thinking, "This guy's gonna kill me," right? Guy comes up and says he's a fan, but what does that mean?
Well, another I read an article on David Lee Roth, and he was out there on Sunset Boulevard in his car, his convertible, and a kid drives up next to him, and he notices David Lee Roth. And they're at a stoplight. Well, the kid dives into his glove box to get a pen because he wants an autograph. Dave doesn't know because this thing with Lennon just happened. He burned rubber and took off.
Yeah.
And the kid calls in on a radio station, talk about what an ass David Lee Roth is.
Oh, yeah. Not up to that, guys.
That shook him enough to where, Dave came out and he had to address it because he says, I love my fans, but we can't be too careful anymore.
People get crazy. I waited backstage or out back behind the Palace, or not the Palace, but the Palladium, waiting for the Ramones to come out. And I got a big poster, and I get Marky to sign it, and I'm gonna walk down and get Joey and Johnny to sign. And some girl ran through the barricade and jumped on Johnny's back, and that was he's freaking out, whoa,
right.
I think she might even have grabbed him by the hair. But he was like, what the heck? So they all dove in the van, and they're down the road. And I was like, well, thanks for
screwing it up for everybody.
Thanks, honey. Yeah, thanks, honey.
Yeah. Wow. All right, guys, let's move ahead. And we got some punk rock tonight. We got some hard rock, and we got some blues rock to play.
Yes, we do.
So, Jerry, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Okay, speaking of the bluesy, the pick this week is the Krager White Band. His name is Craig. So it's just like if he was a kid. Come here, Craig. Come here, Krager. Krager White Band out of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this dude has got some Stratocaster chops. He just released an EP November, day after Thanksgiving, called Hard to Kill. And again, Krager White Band. Oh, guys, thank you, Frank. We've got Bass is Rory Lant. Drums, Steve Adams. Guitar and vocals, Krager White. Music and lyrics, Krager White.
Right.
I love it. And recorded and mixed by Rory Lant, the bass player. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, iTunes, Tidal. He does a lot. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube about him. He doesn't even. I can't find a website. I've done everything. I look for it, but he's got a lot of stuff on YouTube. There's one shot of him playing a gig where Slash shows up. This is like from 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently in the old days, he used to do like a Jimi Hendrix, I don't want to say tribute band, but he pulled some Hendrix stuff. And he has a CD from 1994 called Rock and Roll City. And he's got long hair and you can see the Hendrix thing. And guys, I went to eBay. I can't find it anywhere. I went to eBay. There's a CD copy, Rock and Roll City by the Krager White Band, $219.
Whoa.
$219, the Krager White Band. Anyway, I digress. He's been around a while. He's got serious chops, bluesy chops, Stratocaster chops. He can play like nobody's business. The song Frank's going to play is called Camouflage, off his new EP called Hard to Kill. And this is the Krager White Band from Atlanta, Georgia.
Here we go.
Show. No, I don't want to hear the reasons, and don't you tell me no lies, 'cause I'm just looking for answers, baby, to the reason that they hide in disguise. Camouflage, tell me where are you hiding? Camouflage, are you so far away? Camouflage, oh, I wish I could find you. Camouflage, is there more I could say? Yeah. Camouflage. 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 Now you might meet them in the world someday, but they're never gonna tell you their names. They're trying to find a solution, baby, to the reason that they're playing these games. No, I don't wanna hear.
All right, that's Camouflage by Krager White Band. You sure there's no relation from Krager to Kager? Because that's some party music.
I don't know. That is some party music, and it's a 5-song EP, folks, out in Conspiracy Land, and that's just a little nibble.
Yeah,
that's just a little nibble. He goes off on some stuff. Got a nice gravelly voice. Like I said, just a Stratmaster. This guy's no slouch. And if you can play Hendrix stuff on a Strat, you're good in my book. Krager White Band. Again, what throws me way off is that Rock and Roll City CD from '94.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the Krager White Band, great stuff, great clean picking.
Yeah.
Just good stuff. Good stuff.
I like the production. Yeah. I love the fact that it's gritty, but yet it's nice and clean and in your face.
Clean, yes, yes. So, and when you play you're 20 seconds into your song and then a lead riff comes out before any singing, right. I love that. I love that. Yeah, just to set the bar. Yeah.
What'd you think about that, Jim?
I like when he goes gritty on the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where he sounds like he's kind of really going for it.
Yeah.
Liked the tone of the guitar, and I liked the tone of the bass and the sound of the drums.
Right.
I like the way it was engineered.
Very nice.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to have a lot going on in the rhythm section.
Yeah, bass player,
like that, right?
Bass player. Yeah, the bass player.
Just kind of simple and in the pocket, and it's like a good groove to go right over the top of.
You saying no John Entwistle going on there, right?
No, we were talking about John a little earlier, but no.
Yeah, folks. Yeah.
Which is okay. I like players who can just kind of pedal along like that. That's a little more reminiscent of my own style. I'm not a super notey player, so.
No, that's
but
you hit all the right notes is what's important.
Right.
Correct.
You know.
Right.
And sometimes you don't need all the flash to get your point across. Yeah.
No.
I like that. So that is the Krieger White Band, and that song is Camouflage, and they're available wherever digital music is sold, I'm sure.
Everything, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, iTunes, Tidal, Bandcamp. Lots of stuff on YouTube, folks. Lots of stuff on YouTube. Yeah, Krieger White.
All right. Yep. Okay, well, moving forward, I'll go ahead and I want to present a band called Stonebreaker. These guys are from Portugal. And,
nice.
Yeah, they're from the
I like it.
The south side of Portugal. They were formed in 2015, and they call themselves Brotherhood and Family. They say they are sweaty rock and roll like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. They're used to playing in the clubs with the stank and the mold and the sweat
and the
smell.
Dirty rugs and the dirty rugs.
Get on them.
Yeah. They've got a 6-song EP out, and it's basically just called EP. Came out in October 2019. We have Ray Van D on vocals, Vasco Mora on bass, Ricardo Batista on guitar, and Bruno Victor on drums. And
well done, sir.
Well,
I was going to thank you, Jim. I was going to say, wait till he's done.
Maybe.
You might say produced and mixed by
yeah, not even going there. All I'm going to do is I am going to direct everybody to stonebreakermusic.com. Check out their website and see some of they've got some photos and some different things going on. You can check them out. But these guys are a 4-piece band that just rock, and they're reminiscent, like I said, of a riff rocky Led Zeppelin type. And the song I'm going to play for you is actually called Stonebreaker. And here we go. That is Stonebreaker.
Yep.
Is Stonebreaker. What'd you think about that, Jerry?
Great vocals. Great stuff. I like it. Old school.
Oh, yes.
That's old school. I'm trying to think who to compare it to, but it's good. It's good. Good harmonies, too, when they got to it. But great vocals. Great dirty music. Great heavy fat chords. I like that stuff. Keeping time in the background, too. Just... one of them songs.
Progs along, yeah.
And the dog approves.
My dog loves it.
Yeah.
I hear the dog back there. It's always good when the canines approve.
That's right.
That's how you know it's a good record.
Yeah, boy. If that dog approves, we're on to something.
Brother. What'd you think, Jim?
I like that.
I liked it. Started out a little stony, but it's got enough kick that it's not doesn't really plod along. I mean, it moves along.
Yeah.
Right. And like Jerry said, great vocals. I think the guy's got great tone. They sing in English, which was a plus.
Yep.
I was expecting him to sing in Portuguese, but either way would have been cool with me. Yeah. Solid playing. I thought the guitar had great tone.
Well, these guys have played all through Europe, I guess, and really been around. And like I said, the 6-song EP that came out in October is well worth checking out because the whole thing has got some good music. So maybe one of your guys' dogs would approve. I don't know, but mine sure does.
I don't have one. Nope.
Okay. All right, Jim, what do you got for us?
Okay, so tonight I've got a band called the Cavemen. Found these guys on Bandcamp. They have a brand new album out. Just came out on the 6th, I think. So
very new.
Yeah, very new, but they've been around a while. In typical punk rock tradition, I asked them for a bio and they didn't send one.
All right.
So I want to read this off their Facebook because it's kind of funny, and when you hear like kind of who their sort of influences are, it kind of all makes sense, right?
Okay.
So it's they got Paul Caveman on vocals, Jack Caveman on guitar and vocals, Nick Caveman on bass, and Jake Caveman on drums. They're out of New Zealand. This is the second band from New Zealand, which I have featured. The first was the Beths, and these guys are very different than the Beths. It says, tired of waiting around for the world to end or to be abducted by aliens, 4 delinquent cretins were brought together by dumb luck and a shared love of rock and roll. They learned 3 chords and started busting out face-melting music. Soon they will be playing at your wedding, pack and save opening, or naked pot party. Influences: The Stooges, Cramps, Little Richard, Sonics, Gun Club, Flat Duo Jets, Gories, Dead Moon, 13th Floor Elevators, Spinal Tap, Motorhead, Benny Joy, Hassel Adkins, Dale Hodkins, Link Ray, Captain Beefheart, The Shags, Surf.
Captain Beefheart, my
Back from the Grave, Nuggets,
Woo.
Chance R&B, Buddy Holly, and of course Elvis Presley. And
no Ramones?
No Ramones, but these guys kind of
with
look
their
like
names,
they kind of look and play like they could be the illegitimate kids of the Ramones almost.
Gabba,
Gabba Gabba Hey. So this song is maybe the poppiest one of the bunch. Unfortunately, I missed out on the red vinyl that they had. Brand new 12-inch, but you can buy it on black vinyl for under $14.
No, not bad.
Ships out of Reno, Nevada. So this track is called "Don't Know Why." It's the first single from the record. When you hear it, you'll understand, I think, why it's the single. It's fairly catchy. It's got some good pop sensibility. So let's give it a spin there, Frank, as they say in the industry.
Will do.
I don't know why, I wanna cry.
There's a Cavemen with I don't know why.
Oh, that makes my punk blood boil.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, Jaime.
Yeah, their stuff is actually a little more hardcore than that.
That was like a blast in the past.
Yeah, they have such a great vibe, and that sort of garagey. What would you call it? It's got like kind of a 1960s garagey sort of production on it that I think suits the music very well, right?
Yeah, you could hear them on Little Steven's radio show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the bass playing on that album.
Fat bass on that song.
And some great snotty lyrics. I picked that one because it was the first. They said that was the first single. They got a couple songs that kind of click in right at the 1:30, and I thought, I want to pick one of these shorter songs because we can play the whole song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So anyway, the Cavemen, I heard them, fell in love with them right away. But I love that kind of grudgy.
Same here. That was great, Jim.
A lo-fi vibe to it. But...
No, that was, like I said, I love the bass lines in it and everything. It was just good and catchy.
I want to go mosh. I want to go mosh.
Well, it's a bummer you missed out on the red vinyl.
It is a bummer. It is a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
check them out. That is Cavemen.
Yeah, that's a brand new full length from those guys. So find them on Bandcamp. You can also find them. You can also find them on Facebook. It's the Cavemen NZ for New Zealand.
Very good. So, check them
out.
They're great. I like that, Jim. Yeah. Wow.
Very good. Good. Hey guys, this week or this episode was my pick for a classic album. I don't know how classic it is. I don't know if it even qualifies as rock, but it's a big part of our childhood, whether you like it or not. And this was a fun album to revisit.
It was, Frank.
It's only 30 minutes long. You know.
Yep. 12 songs, 30 minutes. What say, Jim? What say? Jim loves it.
Perfect length, right?
Yeah.
Well, delving into it and reading about it, it was a little depressing. Because, in our minds, the Monkees were a band. And, of course, we learned later on that when this album came out that they didn't even play on the record. It was all studio musicians, one of them being Glenn Campbell. He plays guitar on a lot of this.
Yes.
Glenn Campbell, great guitar player.
Very good guitar player. YouTube, folks. He shows him doing some serious picking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't until their later albums that they actually got to play as a band. What I thought was funny is when they put the actors together for this TV show, none of them wanted to play drums. None of them. Davy Jones knew how to play drums, and he was the drummer, but they said, if we put him in the drums, he's so short, we're going to lose him. So Peter Tork taught Mickey Dolenz some basics on how to play drums. So when they did their little live shots for the show, it looked like he knew what he was doing. And then later on,
not really, but close enough. Yeah, close enough for us being kids and a TV show.
Well, they got him some real lessons, and he learned how to play drums. Yeah. He was actually a guitar player. When they play live, he plays guitar quite a bit.
Yeah.
So on the album, Peter Tork gets to play guitar on two of the tracks, and the Michael Nesmith tracks. And the rest of it was all studio musicians. They called them in. They came and sang their songs and put out this album. Good old Don.
Wait, you said Mike played guitar on those?
Mike did not.
Tracks?
Peter Tork
Mickey.
did.
Or excuse me, Peter Tork.
Peter Tork played on those.
Mike on that album. Mike did not play, according to everything I've read. He may have something different to say about it, but apparently he won't answer my calls. So What are you going to do?
What are you going to
do?
Put on a beanie and grow some sideburns. That's what I say.
Well, the first side one is, of course, the theme from the Monkees, and then Saturday's Child, I Want to Be Free, Tomorrow's Going to Be Another Day, Papa Gene's Blues, and Take a Giant Step. And let's give those a listen, and then I'll have a little bit to say about that.
Here we come, walking down the street, We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We go wherever we want to, do what we like to do. If you love a Wednesday, you live your life apart now. And if you love a Thursday, she's gonna break your heart. So I'm in love with Saturday's job. Every time you hold her close, you'll see you can feel the thrill that's gonna be. Now the future has a gap.
Hold your hand, walk along the sand, laughing in the sun, always having fun, doing all those things without any strings to tie me down. I wanna be free, like the warm September wind, babe.
It's gonna be another day. Hey, 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 hey. And I don't care what you say. Tomorrow's gonna be another day.
I have no more than I did before, but now I've got all that I need. For I love you and I know you love me. Play, magic fingers.
This time you felt like you did then. There's just no percentage in remembering the past. It's time you learn to live again at last. Come with me, leave yesterday behind, and take a giant step outside your mind. You stare at me in disbelief, say for you there's no relief.
All right, that's side one of the Monkees. And I don't want to get any hate mail, but why was Davy Jones in the band?
Because he's saying song number 3, I Want to Be Free.
Yeah, that's the weak link on the album to me.
Come on, and you know that was the teen connection,
Heartthrob.
Frank. Come on, you know.
Because he's so damn.
Yeah, he's so cute. No,
He's a
handsome lad. Yep, and not stuck on himself. You know, he's got that little.
No, he was a good guy.
Yeah. I know I'm short and I know I'm this, but you know, bless his heart, Davy Jones. Yeah,
pure
comedy.
comedy.
So yeah, had a real self-deprecating humor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I like. Is when you're not, obviously. I mean, Davy Jones did a cameo on the Brady Bunch. How big?
He did.
How big was he?
Yeah, and he took Marcia to the prom, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He did. That would happen in real life too.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, I bet it could. Not now.
Sure. I think it was like a junior high dance, and
Something
he was
like
a
that.
20-something-year-old
Like
guy.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
It'd go over
Monkees,
well.
I think.
Well, I never broke it down like that, Jim. Thanks for ruining it.
You
I never
often
did
thought.
It's a stupid TV
He
show.
looked like a kid.
And he only had a couple inches on Mark.
Easy, Jim. Easy.
So Mike Nesmith, bring this back down to a respectable level.
Please.
Mike Nesmith and Peter Tork wrote their songs, and oftentimes they didn't sing them because Mickey Dolenz had a better voice. And in the early days, I think there was some tension behind that because Mike Nesmith was, he thought
Thought
he
of himself as a singer.
I think he thought himself as the leader of the band too.
Mike does 2 songs on this album.
Yes,
Mickey, it's
awesome
almost all
too.
Mickey. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but Peter Tork was a better guitarist.
On the show, Mike was the leader of the band.
He was the leader, yeah.
He's the guy who did all the bookings and made all the decisions.
Yeah. But Mickey was the man to me. He was always the guy.
Same here.
You know,
I would say that.
I don't know. My wife was crazy about Mickey.
He's got a great voice. Anyways,
yes,
side 2 of this album.
He does have a great voice.
Yeah. Side 2 is Last Train to Clarksville. They're only single off this album. This just doesn't seem to be my day. Let's Dance On. I'll Be True to You. Sweet Young Thing, which is 1 minute and 54 seconds.
That's my favorites. Oh.
And Gonna Buy Me a Dog, which is a just classic. Anyways, let's give this a listen.
Take the last train to Clarksville. I'll be waiting at the station. We'll have time for coffee, for later kisses, and a bit of conversation. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Take the last train to Clarksville. Now I must hang up the phone.
I guess I should have stayed in bed, my pillow wrapped around my head, instead of waking up to find a nightmare of a different kind. She went away. This just doesn't seem to be my day. She didn't have to say a lot. Her pretty eyes reveal the plot. 'Twas someone else she wanted more, and so I walked her to the door.
Let's dance on. Oh, baby, come on. Let's dance on till the dawn. Have fun till the music's all gone. The way you're moving, girl, you look so fine. Been doing the shotgun. Let me see you do the twine. Let's do the walk to say, and the action too. Now hang on, baby.
I'll be true to you. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I used to be the kind who said that every girl's the same, and love was just a game for having fun. But when I look
And it's love you bring, no that I can't deny. And with your wings, I can learn to fly, sweet young thing. People try to talk to me, their words are ugly sounds. I resist all their attempts to try and bring me down. Turned on to the sunset like I've never been before. I'll listen for your footsteps and you'll knock upon the...
I'm gonna buy me a dog.
you couldn't teach a dog to do that, you can only train elephants.
'Cause I need a friend now.
I need a friend now.
Now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy me a dog.
A dog here over Fido Spot.
My girl gonna let me know how. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hike! Hike! Hike!
I was late on that one. I just got back from Africa, you know. I was playing cards with the natives.
Oh, Zulus?
No, I usually won.
I wish I had a glass of water.
Why, you thirsty?
No, I want to see if my neck leaks. I'd buy a raccoon, but John already has one.
35
Where do I come
bucks.
in? I'm gonna buy me a dog.
Dog.
A dog?
Yeah.
'Cause I need a friend now.
Yeah, yeah.
There is side 2. I wore the record out on Gonna Buy Me a Dog as a kid. I thought that was the best thing ever. I don't know. Just because he's laughing throughout the whole thing. You can hear the engineer telling him you're late. You know, he's asking for direction, and you can hear them talking to him like, you're screwing this up. But they didn't care. It was like, had to be last minute thing for the album. So
Right. This album isn't 30 minutes long yet. Let's go.
What, probably my favorite song, but Let's Dance On is hands down my favorite tune on that album. Again,
It's La Bamba.
Mickey Dolenz' buttery vocals do it for me. I can't help it.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And like I said, I could get rid of the Davy Jones tunes. I'll Be True to You doesn't.
Yeah, bubblegum. You know, you gotta put bubblegum. Yep.
Do you have a favorite song on there, Jim?
So I'm going to be honest. This is the first time that I have ever heard this album.
Oh,
same here.
Really?
First time. I really like Let's Dance On.
Mm-hmm.
That's La Bamba to me.
I happen to like Last Train to Clarksville.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool.
Love that song.
Cool tune. I was less enamored with Gonna Buy Me a Dog.
I think it's because we're older. I think Frank might have been right back in the day. Remember Ray Stevens had that song, The Streak?
Oh, yeah.
Corny, talking.
Yes.
I had it on a 45.
Sure.
Not to digress, but I think had we been, 8 or 9 years old, we might have thought it was more funny.
Well, that's why
I agree with you, Jim, 100%. When I heard this today and last week, I was like, this is so corny. They could have put a song in there.
I loved it.
I mean, they did, but I'm sorry to interrupt, Jim.
No.
Yeah.
I was listening to the album, and I thought, I need to go back and see how many singles they released. And then it was, the only single was Last Train to Clarksville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking there were any number of songs on the record that I think you could have actually released as singles.
Right.
But I think maybe Last Train to Clarksville was maybe the strongest radio friendly song, if that
I
makes
would agree.
sense.
Right. And you gotta remember the theme for the Monkees was so overplayed on television. It was played over, every week. People heard that.
I expected it to be the exact same as it was on the TV show, but it's not.
It's not. It's got more
different.
verses.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what tripped me out.
There is the television edit if you buy the Rhino version of the album, which has 40 songs on it.
Say no to Rhino.
Oh man.
Just my
I
opinion.
love this. I love the snare song in that song, right where it goes into the chorus. That hey, right when you hit. I love that snare sound.
And as a child, I thought Mickey Dolenz was the one playing those drums, and
of course you did.
Yeah.
Well, he is.
He's listed on the album as the drummer.
Bastards.
He is
Lied
playing
to me.
the drums.
Yeah. Liars.
Liars. Yeah. But side 2 is not, if you can say it's a strong. It's a better side than side 1 for me. The songs are more consistent. More toe tapping. All that. They stick with me better than side 1 does.
I was surprised that the songs had kind of a psychedelic feel to them.
Yes.
That.
Not all, a lot of them had.
Take a giant step, step out of your mind. But their later albums, Head, some of the other ones, they
even Saturday Sky.
Yeah.
There's got kind of a little psychedelic feel to it.
Oh, when they were finally allowed to do their own thing, they really went off into the psychedelic era.
Yeah, Head's a good album, but what messed them up is they finally get a chance at redemption here. This is us playing on our album. And guess what happens, folks, out in Conspiracy Land? What, a week or two later, Sgt. Pepper drops?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Shoot.
Nobody could compete with that. Yeah.
We almost had some... Yeah. I think it was a film, too, right? With Jack Nicholson, or Jack Nicholson had something to do with it? Yeah. Head is a film?
Produced it or wrote it? Or both?
Okay.
So, I don't know. I like the album, guys. Gonna Buy Me a Dog is a good song. You guys are both wrong. And that's just the way it is.
Well, you didn't play the part where Davey was bantering with Mickey.
It's not the first time you've been wrong, Frank. So
it's my pick.
Jim,
my
you
album.
know something I don't know?
See, the thing is,
Frank's been wrong?
For Jim to say this is the first time he's listened to this album, and then you're going to tell me? I've been listening to this thing since 1966, man.
That's why you should know that.
I've heard all the songs here and there during the show. Yeah. I mean, especially the one I remember was Papa Gene's Blues. I remember that on a show. even back in the day, I liked when Mike did his tune. Every once in a while, Mike would do a song, and I liked it.
Now, when the first pressing of that album came out, the first pressing of the Monkees came out, they spelled Papa Jean's Blues wrong. They spelled jeans with a J. And
yeah, I'd heard that.
And then they
really
put out the second pressing and they fixed it. Apparently, it's not that rare. You know, it's nothing a Monkees fan has to run out and have to have both copies because it's easily available. But
well, they sold like a gazillion copies, right?
Yeah. Hey, this thing went platinum.
Isn't that wild, guys? Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Sales of over 5 million.
Yeah. Not bad for a made-up band.
Really?
Yeah.
For 1966, that's pretty dang good.
What Milli Vanilli did?
Not bad at all.
No. For the time.
12 songs, 30 minutes. Woo!
Yeah.
That's a lot of bang for the buck, folks. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, obviously, you know, I'm not even going to say if this is an album that would hold up to, you know, the test of time. It's a genre style. Either you like it or you don't. You know,
it did, Frank. It took me back, and again, you hear those, you know, psychedelic stuff on it, the guitar and the twangy and the, you know, sounds like a bee or whatever. But I've heard all the songs before. I've never had the album.
Yeah.
But listening to it straight through, very respectable to me.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about the album is it's recorded in mono, so all the drums are on the left with you know the bass and the guitars and you hear vocals on the right, and it's neat to hear an album in mono the way it was intended for you to hear it.
Yes.
It's kind of neat. Oh well, that was the Monkees. Jim, you've got the next pick.
So, I do have the next pick.
Let's hear what you have to say.
And I told you guys I had kind of a weird story. So
yes.
So last episode when we finished up, we were talking after the episode, and I said I feel like, you know, I've been picking like a lot of kind of 80s hard rock metal kind of stuff, but I also picked Zeppelin and the Sweet, and but I've kind of stuck to our era,
right?
More or less. And so I had in my mind, an album came into my mind. I said, this is going to be my pick. And then a few days later, I'm sitting in the living room and I say, hey, Alexa, what is the greatest rock and roll album ever recorded? And Alexa said, well, I found this on the internet. It is Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones.
Very nice.
Arguably the greatest rock and roll album ever recorded. And I said, Alexa, have you never heard of Pet Sounds? and Alexa came back and said, this is what I found on the internet. Pet Sounds was, I don't know, was it like the 11th studio album by the Beat, pointing out because it didn't sell that well.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, that's all you got out of that article?
Yeah.
What do you know? Well, first I asked Alexa, I said, hey, Beatles or Stones? And she said, I have no opinion on that. I'm like, wow, you suck.
Yeah.
Pick a side, for crying out loud. So that's when I asked her, like, what's the greatest rock and roll album? So that's my pick, an album that I don't think I have ever heard all the way through.
Yeah.
So Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones.
Right.
That's my pick for next time.
There it is.
Digging back to the 60s.
Very nice. And I do believe I own that somewhere, so I'll have to give it a listen.
Going over the tunes on it.
I may own it and have never heard it.
Yeah.
I'd buy stuff and just file it away.
Yeah. You know, a lot of the Stones albums, I think we've discussed this on an earlier episode, a lot of the Stones albums have 2 or 3 great songs and 4 or 5 filler songs. And that's just how they record.
That time, though.
Yeah.
18 songs.
Yeah, it's a double album. It's some...
Oh, it's a double. Okay. Yeah. May of 72.
Yeah.
Oh, 72. I thought it was earlier than that.
Unless I'm looking at a Oh, it's got the little red E on it. I'm looking at iTunes, guys, so it could be.
Let's.
Yeah, I got May 72, May 72, May 72.
That sounds about right.
Does it?
Yeah.
It seems to me earlier too, like Jim said. Yeah.
Yeah, some of their
Look, yeah, May of '72.
Well, I hate it when they do the remaster and then deluxe and then they do. Okay,
I thought it was late. I thought it was like late '60s, like '69 or whatever. So '72.
This 1972 double album holds a place in Stone's mythology far beyond its initial release.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those it's been around forever and lots of good songs on it.
Can't wait to get
out
into
of 18,
it.
I don't know, but definitely a lot worth listening to.
Yeah, good job, Jim. Good job.
It's got Happy on it, which is one of my favorite Stones. Yeah. So.
All right.
Very good, Jim.
Rolling Stones, Exile. Very nice. Okay. Well,
there we go.
That will be our. Also, what we're going to do is our next episode is a Christmas episode. So, are we going to present some new music, or are we just going to pick some? We're just going to pick some Christmas music. What do you want to do?
I think we pick our favorite rock and roll Christmas tune.
Thank you, Jim. I like that. Yeah, Frank. Christmassy. Go Christmassy.
I'm wearing them out on Facebook, guys. If you're sitting there,
you are. You're like way ahead of the curve as far as I'm concerned, but that's okay.
I was a little worried that I started a little early. I was going to run out, but man, I've got a couple good weeks of tunes coming up. So,
and let's just say this about that: there are a lot of really terrible. Contemporary Christmas songs.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
just bad, and my daughter plays them all.
Well, it's bad when your music shows up on Coast or something, so you don't want to hear the Christmas music. Yeah. Everybody, and just about everybody that's been in a rock band.
Some good ones so far.
Yeah, so far so good, but not all rock singers should be doing Christmas music. That's for sure.
No.
All right, well, that will be episode 30. That's
wow.
2
big
weeks.
30.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Maybe we can get 30 listens. We'll see.
That would be fun.
See how we do.
We need about 10 times that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I think so. You got anything for us, Jerry?
No, folks. Just keep rocking. Keep rocking.
I don't have anything other than let's look forward to the Rolling Stones. What about you, Jim?
Exile on Main Street.
Smash that like button. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a comment. Let us hear from you. Tell Frank how wrong he is about gonna buy me a dog.
Jim, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Let's say you and I agreed to tell Frank he was wrong on something back in high school.
I stopped recording 5 minutes ago. So go ahead.
There you go.
That's my point. Back then, folks, in conspiracy land, it was I stopped listening 5 minutes ago.
Did you say something? I'm not even listening to you.
Nothing's changed.
Wrong about something? That thought never enters my bean counter up here. He was wrong about that. Why?
Does not compute.
Yeah. Doesn't compute.
Nope. Illogical.
Right. That's
Illogical.
Right. All right, Jim. Well, if there's nothing else.
Shop is closed.
The shop is closed.
No, I'm sorry. Let me try something real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, lighting now, and then I'm going to try some lighting. Hang on.
Okay.
Any difference?
Not much. I mean, you got a little shine to your head.
Yeah, I noticed that too since I sat down. Hang on. Yeah, I don't need to be amplifying my receding hairline.